All right, everyone,
Fix it in post.
go
Fix it
for
in post. Welcome to the Play of Four podcast. I'm your host, Tristan, aka Shagra Zero, on the Rooster Teeth website.
I'm Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
And I am Malachi, aka Technical Difficulties. I mean Sukikiba.
Why did you
Forgot
say
someone.
Oh, because you were here yesterday, and I forgot that you're here. I'm sorry. Hi, Joseph.
Hi, I'm Joseph, aka J Dunlap.
But I'm Rick Guerrero!
He pulled a Rick Guerrero on you.
I'm sorry I missed you yesterday, Joseph, so much.
Last week?
How did you miss me? I'm not
Yesterday.
your D&D group.
It was yesterday. I need a hug. Anyways.
Well, you know the thing about
By the way,
yesterday.
we're not recording this podcast. If you catch the recording, it wasn't the day after we did the last one. So
All my troubles seem so far away.
All my troubles are right here in front of me, and they're you three. What are our topics?
Malachi?
You do it.
Okay, wrote him out.
Oh, well, fine. It's apparently I'm meandering like I always do because that's the thing I do. Magic judging and meta D&D. And then Twitch streaming and the path to affiliate. That's
And then
part
before
of the
that,
meta.
what's
So
the
that's
first topic?
yeah.
What
Malachi's
first?
meanderings.
I said that.
Wait, you don't have a final topic. Where's the last one, Malachi?
It's secret.
That's crap. Everyone knows what it is. All right. What are you meandering about today, Malachi? You played a game?
No, it's just a couple of fill-in things, just to kill time, say hey, tell everyone I love them.
Okay.
So Pokemon Go, I finally got my booty back outside walking, doing the Pokemon going. A lot of fun updates that I missed out on during the almost year that I haven't played. Appraising changed, and it's a little more coherent for people that don't want to spend the extra time to look up online how good their Pokemon are. It's a little easier to. I'm kind of being redundant now. So that's
They got rid of Team Rocket, or they're going to
get rid of. Well, I hope not, because I actually kind of like the mechanic. There's another mechanic that I just recently witnessed is the Team Rocket mechanic, which is at Pokemon Stop. You can get ambushed by Team Rocket, and you can have a Pokemon battle with them, and get a Pokemon that is a shadow Pokemon. And then you can spend resources to purify it, which will give it a unique move and also boost its stats. Which is kind of cool. I like the whole random battle thing. That's actually nifty. And it is challenging too, but it doesn't really penalize you for failing. And you can keep re-challenging the Team Rocket member for about 15 minutes. So that was something that was really cool.
Malachi, you're getting called out in chat for not using the background that now Renell made.
I made it.
Yeah,
I'm signed into Sam's computer.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Wait, what?
Naranal is my friend Sam's username.
Oh.
And I'm using his PC.
How did you know that Sam made the background?
No, Tristan made the background. You're a troll. Anyways.
All my hard work.
That was
Malachi, where's my damn background?
You live. Yeah, that was a really cool mechanic that they introduced, and I was able to see it today and get to use it. It was pretty cool. And I also was playing Smash Brothers for their new release of their character Hero, which is the characters taken from Dragon Quest. Which is a very popular series in Japan, and also has a good following over here in the States. So character is a lot of fun. It's more of a power character, so you're more strategic about your hits. You're not hugely in your face, in the enemy's face, as a quicker character would be. Very powerful, a lot of heavy hitting moves. Actually, kind of a little overpowered, but I haven't seen any real weaknesses yet. So, and they also added the typical RPG kind of menu access. You can actually bring up a menu and select a move out of a list. So it's kind of interesting because it will slow you down, but also gives you more options of things to do. So it's an interesting twist on it. Kind of like Shulk has the ability, changing ability. So something that's already kind of present in the game, but another character that capitalizes on it. So that is my meanderings. Just a few things that I was doing and enjoying. New releases. So yeah, fun stuff.
Malachi, meanderings.
So Joseph, the magic judge, has some magic judging information for us.
Yeah, before we get to the title of the episode, Judge Academy, I wanted to, first off, there's a frog crawling around in my throat. Okay, I'm good.
Ribbit.
So I spent the past 2 weekends traveling as a magic judge, and this is the first time since I got my judge certification a year and a half ago, as we've been chronicling my adventures. I'm really having a hard time talking with earbuds, just so
Chronicling.
everyone knows. Chronicling.
No,
I've
chronic.
turned into Rich Evans from
Chron.
Red Letter Media.
Oh.
This is my first time to do 2 weekends in a row, and it was interesting because I got home from the first weekend in Denver, where it was 100 degrees outside, and had a good time. I got home and I had all of 3 days before I had to be on the road again to be prepared for an early morning flight. And then I went to Columbus, Ohio. That was the thing where I was telling you guys I was really excited, where I got a hotel sponsorship. And I gotta say, I nailed this past weekend. I was really good on the, and I did a good job. And
Oh yeah.
people like me, gosh darn it. And now my next thing is end of August, so I've got some weeks this weekend next to prepare for school, which will be fun. So that's what happened with the judging. I went to Denver, then I went to Columbus, Ohio, and I gotta say I'm not impressed. I also had this long story on Twitter about the Cincinnati Greyhound station, so you should go to my Twitter. I think it's Dunlap_Joseph. I think that's it. And then you can read all about the Cincinnati Greyhound, which resulted in the Greyhound Twitter account passing on my feedback and giving me like $21 in credit I'm not going to use.
Oh
So moving
man.
on, moving on to the Judge Academy. So we were at Columbus and we heard through the grapevine, because we knew that there was some sort of judge announcement that was going to happen at some point soon. Then we heard it was going to be Monday, which was this past Monday. And then we heard that the staff of Magic Fest Barcelona and of the Pro Tour, Mythic Championship Barcelona, had been told what the announcement would be ahead of time for some reason. We're not sure why, but some of the people from Barcelona, the staff, not the city, told a few people, and then it sort of spread. And then a friend of mine on Twitter actually went ahead and said, "Hey, you guys deserve to know. Here's what's going on," and tweeted out what was going on. And then everything that she said was then confirmed on Monday morning. I was sitting in my Magic Judge mentor's house. No one was in the house. I had let myself in, and they were at a doctor's appointment. I was sitting on their couch. Their cat was in my lap, and I got on my phone. The announcement had just come out, and I was reading it all by myself. And it was an interesting experience because here's what the announcement was. The judge program for a long time has been mostly volunteers. The contracts that were involved in the program were the regional and program coordinators. regional as in like I'm USA South, which is Texas and its friends. And we have a regional coordinator whose function is to know the judges in their region, facilitate, talk to tournament organizers, which is like stores mostly, and be a point of contact if you say, hey, I got this application for this thing, this event, for some guy named Alex Jones. What do you know about him? And then he either says, oh, he's a great guy, I've worked with him, or he says, hold on, I'll talk to the area captain. So then he talks to Alex's area captain, which is for the greater um, northern. What state are you in again? I forgot.
I'm in Missouri.
Missouri. So like the northern Missouri area would have an area captain, and he would call him up and he'd say, "Hey, what do you know about Alex Jones? He's in your area." And the area captain would say, "Oh yeah, we worked a small event together, and he was pretty dependable. He's learning. He's a solid rules guy, and he's learning his policy." So then he would pass that on to the regional coordinator, and then the regional coordinator would pass that on to the tournament organizer. So the regional coordinators and the program coordinators were on sort of stipend contracts with Wizards of the Coast,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the other judges were not volunteers. The volunteers were the people maintaining the website, and then we volunteered our time to mentor each other because we would get paid by tournament organizers. It's not like we work for free, although we often would break even on difficult events. Like if a flight's expensive and then the room is expensive, then we got to feed ourselves. Maybe we only make like $50. That's not always the case. When I was at Denver, I think I made 300 to 400 on the weekend, so it's not always the case. I think I broke even on Columbus because the pay is a little bit lower, and it was only 2 days. Uh, so all that to say, there had been this recent thing a few years ago where 10 Minute Magic covered it. My old Magic podcast, where Wizards had been distancing themselves from Magic judges, and it had to do with uh, a lawsuit, which is when they started having their employees hashtag WotC employee whenever they were when they were speaking on behalf of the company. That would delineate themselves from people who were not being paid monetarily by Wizards. And that's fine. Like, we enjoyed our status as an independent organization that could also be unilaterally decertified by Wizards. Well, at the beginning of this year, we found out the program coordinators and regional coordinators were informed by Wizards, you've got to change the system, you've got to come up with something new, some sort of like unifying organization, or we're done. And as they were trying to figure it out, a man by the name of Tim Shields, the owner of Cascade Games, came up to them and said, I already have sort of a thing I've been working on. Now, for anyone inside Magic, Cascade used to run Grand Prix, and now for those of you outside of Magic, you would still understand. They are one of the two companies that go to conventions throughout the year and host Magic tournaments, as well as Keyforge and a few other games. The only other company is Pastimes, and they only do packs. So all the other conventions that you go to, where there are Magic tournaments, that is Cascade Games. So their owner, Tim Shields, said, I have a plan already sort of in place. And his plan involves the fact that occasionally there'd be a game that will say, hey, would you like to run tournaments for a game? Take it to conventions, Keyforge being the current one. And last year it was Lightseekers. And the issue was, those games don't have official judge certifications. So they would hire Magic players, Magic judges that they know and trust and can work with. I know like 3 out of the 5, I think, probably more, that regularly do this. And they would learn the rules. They would become players of that game or not. And then they would do their best to be a judge for that game at the tournaments and that sort of thing. Or they would do learn to play or whatever. So his plan involved a global organization where you could partner with different games and then like sort of figure out what would best be encompassed in a certification to be a judge for that game. And as it just so happened, the timing was such that he was able to basically take over the judge program, call it Judge Academy, have the option to eventually branch out into other games and certify in those. It's a certification organization. It's not a union or an employment agency. So it's like a CNA or a lawyer's certification that you pay a fee for every year for upkeep. Only for a CNA or a lawyer, it's way less money than it is for a judge certification. A judge certification, as of this November, is going to be $100 for an L1 per year, $200 for an L2, and $400 for an L3. In exchange, you get judge foils worth more than that, and then you have access to the training resources that they have yet to show us, and the certification, which is I am a judge certified by Judge Academy, which is separate from Judge Apps, which is where we got our certifications now. But Judge Apps will have the functionality where your profile will show whether you also have the Judge Academy certification or just the Judge Apps certification. So as it stands, currently, the system will be... I just heard a weird beeping sound, sorry. Can everyone hear me right now? Are we doing good?
Yeah, everything's
No, we're
fine.
doing
We're just
good.
listening intently because there's a lot to kind of digest.
Oh, there's a lot. There's an AMA that did not go well.
Yeah, I
And
imagine
the
it
long and
didn't
short of it,
because they went for profit and are basically saying all you guys who are already judges out there and not with us, screw off.
I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. I get there's a lot of judges saying this is a good thing to have a unifying organization. This is a good thing for what they want to do. Some people saying I can vouch personally for each and every one of these people that are in charge, or this is a good thing because of the training resources. I understand that each and every one of those things individually are good, but the fact remains the certification costs more than it costs to become a lawyer, and it costs more than it becomes to be a CNA. In exchange, we have the privilege to then work events that are barely profitable,
It's
and no
weird
one
to
has...
me. It's weird to me that they're collecting a yearly fee to stay a judge. Like, I could understand if they're administering a certification test to charge you to take the test, but for one thing, certifications usually last a couple of years in every field. You know, a doctor only has to get recertified every 5 years. A lawyer only has to get recertified every few years either. I think it's 3 to 5. You know, even engineers who have state and government certification, 5 year cycle, and it's like $100 to take the test. You don't have to pay anything during that time.
There's a lot to unpack, so I'm going to give you the facts I'm aware of, and then you can from that infer my opinion, because my opinion is based entirely on the facts I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Because each of those things that have been said in defense of it so far, that I've said, which is the people in charge have always been doing great things for the judge program and for Magic at large. Uh, that it's good to have a unifying body. It's good to... thanks for tweeting out for us, Ash. It's good that there will be training resources available. But here's the thing. We've already been doing that with the training resources, and as Tristan said, the certification is exorbitant. And then, on top of that, in exchange, you're getting foils. Now, I've heard two differing arguments in favor of this system. They're differing arguments. One is the foils are not compensation. In foils, I mean shiny cards that are worth a lot of money. And the other one is the foils more than pay for it themselves. Those are completely dissonant arguments in favor of the system. But essentially what that means is you are buying foils that the Wizards of the Coast gives to Judge Academy from Judge Academy. And then that is a way so that they have money that Wizards did not give them, and then you get compensated for it. So it's a way for Wizards to distance themselves in a business standpoint from the company. But we have to shell out the money, and then we get the foils. That is a fact. That is not an opinion. That is a fact. In exchange, we get to maintain our certification every year. Now, for context, the foils is 2 packets per 100 that you spend. You get it twice a year. You get a packet, and a packet is probably going to be worth $200 to $300. So I get it, but there's still the upfront cost that I myself am not even sure I can actually swing. Now, so all of that said, and Kristen said it's unfortunate because if you want to say a judge, no, actually, if you want to say a judge, you don't have to do it. You just won't have that little additional little
Yeah.
tag on your profile on judge apps.
Well, yeah, you'll have the Judge Apps
Judge apps is the
certification
database of
still,
judges,
but
but also the
not.
place to go to get employment for judges.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
not the
you'll just
other
not
one.
have the Judge Academy tag on your profile of having an L2 certification through Judge Apps, through Judge Academy. Instead, you'll just be a Judge Apps L2. Look at the facts. I get the excitement about some of the individual in a vacuum facts. I get it's a unifying body. I get instead of a regional coordinator, we'll have uh, a judge that we all know from our region being a community manager. Actually, I've worked with our community manager twice now. I get that the people in charge are people who have done a lot of good work. What I don't get is the nice big round number to maintain a certification that for a lot of us is just a hobby. So that's where we're at with judging, and it's divided the magic community, not the judge community, everyone.
Yeah.
And the
I
AMA
mean,
did not go well.
mm,
Judges are arguing with each other. There was even one judge who I have not a very high opinion of in the first place, who in a public Discord said, if you can't swing $100 to $200 for a given year, you should just examine your financials because you've got bigger problems. And it's like, dude, you're an a-hole.
yeah, that's pretty uncalled for.
That's
I mean,
privilege on a stick right there.
yeah, it is. Um, I mean, hell, Amazon Prime costs $100 a year. There's a reason not everybody has it. Uh,
Right, because it's a great service, but you have to foot the bill.
yeah,
It's like someone who tells someone in a lower tax bracket, if you want to save money, just buy in bulk. And it's like I can't even barely afford ramen. What are you talking about?
right.
Because yeah, everything eventually, if there's a lot of things that are a lot upfront, but pay for themselves. But is it prudent for myself to put up $200 for a certification just so I can then attempt to offload foils online? It's a lot of legwork. It's the same system as when for Magic Fest, the employer there, who I will not say their name out loud, that's kind of rude, I think, uh, actually lowered the pay is for tax purposes, but then increased it through giving a gift of booster boxes to judges, 2 per day. And then you would have to do the additional legwork to sell it, or you would sell
Yeah.
it back to them at a discount for them. It's a way to get compensated at a somewhat fair price. Even better if you find someone who will take it off your hands for more money.
Yeah,
But
but
also
no,
for
it's
tax
it's
purposes, that $240 for the weekend off the boxes was actually a gift.
it's pretty. It's the same kind of underhanded BS that has allowed restaurants to become what they are, where they're
It is the
paying.
same sort of situation. It's you're going to, as a customer, subsidize the income of my employees through tips,
Yeah,
and that way I can keep the food cheap. And it's like, well, it's not cheap if I'm tipping, so why
yeah,
don't you just pay them a good wage?
and not make me tip.
So my opinion
It's only
is,
done in America.
so I'm briefly going to give my opinion because up to now all I've done is state fact. It may have sounded like I was giving my opinion, but I was stating fact, irrefutable fact. My
Yeah,
opinion is if I can get by as a judge without paying, that's what I'm going to do. I get that I'm missing out on foils. I get that I can no longer attend conferences in my region. I get it. But I do not support the system in its current implementation. There's too many problems. I get all the good things about it, but I don't like the idea that suddenly we get this announcement saying you owe us money. It's a lot of money.
yeah.
And
And like you said, in a lot of cases, especially at the L1 level, you're barely breaking even when you go and travel for the convention.
yeah, I mean, when you look at it, for some people, that fee is what they make in a year as a judge.
Yeah,
That's how much they've come out on top for the year, and for what? Just an additional tag on your profile.
Yeah. No.
And I fear that eventually it may become, sure, you've got your Judge App certification, but you didn't go through Judge Academy, so I don't want you. But I don't know if that'll happen. The two major Magic employers, the ones that are not Cascade, which is owned by the same guy who owns Judge Academy,
Yep.
have both announced that they will not necessarily require Judge Academy. CFBE, who is the main Magic Fest employer, has said they are not going to require Judge Academy.
Okay.
And the other one, SCG, Star City Games, has said they're going to announce something next week about what their plans are. That they need time to digest it. Both
Yeah.
the judge manager and the showrunner have both announced we're going to come up with some solution on our end, some stance that we need time to figure out. And ultimately, it either means it's going to be everything has to be Judge Academy, or it's going to be Judge Academy doesn't really matter unless you want extra credentials, or it's going to be every company has their own certification, and this is just the one for Cascade. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen, guys. I have no idea.
My cynicism tells me that it's first going to go to everyone has to have Judge Academy, where there's going to be some kind of complaint somewhere in the industry that, some call was a bad call and it wouldn't have
Oh,
been
you're right.
if
Oh my,
somebody had a Judge Academy certification, and that show is going to be like, okay, sorry, but from here on out, we require Judge Academy.
you're not wrong.
Mm,
That might happen. But
yeah.
okay, let's switch gears. Let's twitch gears for
Let's
our
switch
last
gears.
2 minutes or
Do
so
it.
to Tristan talking about the Path to Twitch affiliate, because we've talked about D&D
Yeah,
a lot
we have.
because it's a big part of what we do, but it's always been mostly recaps of the plot. Tristan is going to give us a meta D&D discussion here, and
Sure.
he's going to tell us about the nature of streaming on Twitch with D&D and
So,
what that has led to.
so it was a couple of weeks ago when I was transferring one of our episodes from Twitch to YouTube that I noticed there was a notification on our Twitch account. And when I clicked on it to find out what was going on, it said, "Hey, you're almost there." And I'm like, "Almost where?" And it shows me that because of the D&D game happening every week, and the viewership from that, and how long it is, we've raised our average streaming hours weekly and our average viewership weekly to the point that we are eligible in those areas for affiliate with Twitch, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure entirely everything that goes into that or what it all means ultimately, but it's one of those feathers in your hat that I see a lot of people putting in. Something to do with monetization, I'm sure. But so it said that there were 4 requirements. One was hours, one was viewership, and the last was number of videos out of the 3 that we had. And then the only one we're missing is followers, actual subscribers or whatnot. I think it's followers, not subscribers, because I think that's different on Twitch, which was something that took me a long time to understand.
That's followers.
Yeah. So we're at 20 some odd followers, and you need 50, and then we've already got all the others. So we just got to rustle up a few more followers, and we could be affiliates. And it's kind of all thanks to just I couldn't. It's funny to me because it was happenstance that we ended up on Twitch, that I've been moving between Airbnbs and not having my own apartment, so I've not been in control of my router. So I wanted to present the dungeon to my players, and I couldn't just be like, all right, I'll create it in Roll20 or RP Tools and host it, and you guys just join, and there you'll be able to see the map and move your tokens around. I didn't have that option because you need to be able to port forward to do that. So I was like, you know what? I've got another idea. I'll do what I always do, which is design it in Excel, and then I can just stream the Excel sheet and ask people where they want to move and move them for them. And it's been working out. We've had a good game. We've just put up episode 17 of Everybody Loves Riken, which is what we're calling the session, which I think is a very funny name. And we're still in that dungeon. It's a very large dungeon, a big chunk of the story there. We're having a great time. Everybody's almost dead, so it's super awesome. But I intend to keep streaming even after we finish that dungeon, just even if there's not a map that I've designed for it. I think the talking is fun. I'll find some kind of images to throw up. But yeah, that's how it all kind of came to be. And so the reality, or the at the end of the day, yes, followers don't pay, subscribers pay. Thank you, Ash. But I didn't realize there was a difference. I didn't know that you could pay, choose to pay presenters on Twitch. I thought it was all
When
just
you reach
following.
affiliate, you have the ability to have subscribers. And
Oh,
there's two
okay.
ways to do that. One is pay $5, and the other one is to use your Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, pour over subscription.
So wait, who pays the $5? The subscriber or the host?
The subscribers will pay the host $5, well, some of it. And then you can also just become a subscriber through Twitch Prime, which if you have Amazon Prime, then you already have Twitch Prime.
Okay. Well, I think I do, but I don't know that our Player for Podcast account does, because I don't think
No.
it.
But what I'm saying is that there's two ways to become a subscriber.
Oh,
And one
okay.
of
So
those
this
is
is
Jeff
just the
Bezos'
subscriber.
money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos money.
That's what a lot of streamers call it, Jeff Bezos' money.
Yeah, that guy. So yes, I see the correction here. 21. We're at 21 out of 40 required to be affiliates. So we just need 19 more people. We just gotta be like, hey, you like D&D or other fun stuff that we do? Sometimes we play other video games. Sometimes we got Joseph streaming MTGA or other games that he's recently picked up. I sometimes play other games with Malachi and other people. You know, come watch our stream.
I don't know. We're pretty entertaining. And as
Sometimes.
a short tease, there might be a new thing coming.
Oh, there's a new thing? I wasn't told
Might
about the
be.
new thing. Oh, there
New
might
thing
be.
coming to
There
our
might.
Twitch.
There may or may not be a new thing.
Tease.
We can neither confirm nor deny the existence of a new thing.
Nor confirm.
Yes. We can do nothing.
So, Malachi, wake up. What's our next topic?
It's a secret.
Super
I turned on my fan.
secret.
Next topic.
Secret topic.
I guess I'm getting the flip out of here.
What? No, you need to
Yeah.
tell us what the secret topic is.
It's me getting
Oh,
the
there's a
flip
secret
out of
topic?
here.
That's not a
Oh.
secret.
Just you, so we have to stay here.
Oh, it's just to get people to stay. It was just to tantalize you a little bit.
Tantalize. Scintillating.
Tentacleized.
Whoa.
Tentacle
Whoa.
No. Don't tentacleize it. Don't titillate me.
All right, guys. It's been wonderful talking with you and having you listeners here. You have a wonderful night.
I'm going to
Have a
tantalize
good
your
night, everybody.
titillates.
No. No. We're gonna lose our followers now. All right. Hashtag goodbye.
Bye.
So,
This is the post-credits scene.
yeah.
It's pretty disappointing.
Sorry, Joseph. I left you out of the intro. I do heart you. I swear.
It's a lie.
It's just an excuse for me to get angry at you.
That's
So
So
true.
next week, can I do a little Bethesda segment?
You can.
I have a new Dunla apps,
Woo!
Unlapse.
and also I bought some Fallout games. It's 75% off.
Oh.
75%.
I'll be talking about it next week, but I got Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 with all the DLC for $20.
Dang.
I am currently downloading a graphics mod for New Vegas.
Play that Fallout.
Yeah. I think I'll talk about this on the podcast next week, but it's just kind of funny how I went from I don't want to play an open world game, I want to play a game for the story, I want to play the Mass Effect series, to Andromeda was such a disappointment and failed at both being a Mass Effect game but also being an open world game that it drove me towards a good open world game, and I started playing Skyrim this year. and then from there, I'm wanting to try Fallout. So Andromeda was so bad it turned me into a Bethesda player.
Drama was bad enough that it turned you into a Bethesda player.
Andromeda.
Oh.
'Cause I feel
Read
that-
his lips.
I can't. I don't
Right.
see anything.
They're
It's just a
moving.
screen.
They're voluptuous.
Your lips are your lips are moving, and you're complaining. That's whinging. Oh goodness.
See how your lips are moving?
Yeah,
It's
and
good.
you're complaining. That's whinging.
All right. Well, I'm gonna check on the fan because I think Gina's making a birthday.
She's making a turkey. I want a turkey.
I'll make you a
I
turkey
guess-
sandwich.
Turkey sandwich.
I'll mail it to you.
What? Thank you. I hope it's still good when it gets here.
I'll put ice packs with it.
It's gonna be all melty. It's gonna get soggy.
Well, I still mailed you a sandwich, so
I mean, it's true. You would have kept your word.
it's true. Well, I'll just eat it for you.
Hmm.
I'll make it for you, but then I'll eat it.
I made you a sandwich and then I ate it.
Oh, I made you a cookie, but I eated it.
Yeah.
Picture of the cat who looks all sad.
Goodness gracious. That is an old meme. You were throwing old memes at me.
It's an older meme, but it checks out.
It checks out. I want more D&D.